Well, every year or so, I'll walk around the shop and see if there's any tools that I haven't done a review on. And I've covered most of the things in my shop, at least the bigger tools, the drum sander and bandsaw and things like that. But you know, this Ridgid Oscillating Spindle sander, I've actually had it in my shop for several years now, and it's been a great little tool. So I use it all the time. And the one function on this that I think makes it stand out for me is the fact that not only can you angle that table, but it actually includes a miter slot. And that just means I can use my miter gauge to create chamfers on the end of a board or even chamfering tenons. I've actually got mine set up with automatic dust collection with an IVAC gate. Maybe overkill for a tool like this, but I really like to run a clean shop, and with a 4-inch hose I can actually share duties between this benchtop sander and my drill press, and that's been working great. So 2 tools with 1 blast gate in that case. And if that's a topic you want to learn a little more about, I'll put that 2 tools, 1 blast gate video down in the description for you. There's pros and cons with this one, like anything. I do like the quick release belt change, so it seems like it's easy to swap grits on that. The belt function on this is pretty much trouble-free. It's got a metal platen on the front, and the drums are actually plastic. And it's funny, when I go between this and my larger edge sanders that actually have metal drums, I prefer this. You're not supposed to sand much on this smaller side, but on this drum it's okay to sand on, and just gives it a smoother action. There's less bouncing against that plastic drum. So it's funny, you'd think the metal would be much higher quality, but this just seems to work. The tracking on this also works quite well, which, you know, if a belt sander doesn't track well, it's pretty much garbage to me. So you got to have good tracking, and it's tool free with this knob, and I would say that is truly tool free. On this one, you can call it tool free with the belt because you don't have to secure things that hard, but when you switch this over to use the spindle sander attachment, I actually had to make a little tool to tighten that up enough so that the sleeves don't come up off the drums. Loosen up that knob. It's actually reverse threads to pull that off, and that belt attachment will come straight off the top. It's a nice little system, and that actually stores behind the tool. The dust collection has action through this cavity here as well as through these slots up top, and overall I'd give the dust collection about a 3.5 out of 5. It's not excellent by any means, but I'm glad it has some measure to extract the dust. But if you've used any of the aftermarket accessories that kind of mount over on this side of the tool, maybe off of Etsy or similar platforms, maybe 3D printed, let me know if any of those have worked for you. I have hesitated because I like to use this larger end of the drum for contour work, but if you found something that works for you, I'd certainly love to hear about it. If you have a router table with an aluminum insert, you're certainly not going to jump for joy at the quality of this plastic insert, but it does come with some trim ring washers there and basically everything you need to get the job done. And as I might have mentioned, you know, I keep the belt on here 95% of the time, so for me it's not that big a deal. Make sure to put the washer with the small diameter on there, and you don't want the washer sticking out past the edge of the drum that you're using. For instance, if I chose the wrong washer, it would look like that, so you don't want that. But you also don't want to have the washer size to fit this. So if it goes in like that, it's not going to put downward pressure and secure your sleeve. You want it to actually match the diameter of that threaded post on your tool. Reverse threads, tighten that in. And here's where you actually need some sort of a tool, I've found, to develop enough tension to keep that sleeve from sliding off on you. There we go. See how that washer goes on at the bottom? Looks kind of funny, but that's the way you have to do it. And remember, righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. And some of that depends on the abrasives you're using. The stuff that originally came with the tool works pretty good. Some of these replacement ones, like these Freud sleeves, are just ever so slightly larger, so sometimes that does create an issue. And because those are rubber drums, that's actually my favorite action of all. Compared to plastic or metal drums, this one is definitely the most forgiving. And these are the size drums that come with it. 1/2 inch, which is actually just a plain sleeve. There's no rubber drum on that. 3/4, 1 inch, 1.5 inch is what I have on the tool now. Or the largest spindle is a 2 inch, although one side of the belt I think is a 3 inch, so it has you covered there. Yep, looks like that side's about 3 inch diameter. And if you like where I'm going with this topic, take a second and give me a quick thumbs up and consider subscribing to The Thoughtful Woodworker. It's always greatly appreciated and I'd love to have you on board. Next I'm going to put the belt back on and I'll show you my absolute favorite function on this sander. On the bottom of the belt assembly is this tab that engages with the sander base, and I do wish that was metal. This one's plastic, but this thing is just so much more affordable than other models. I think my other edge sander is over $1,000 and it doesn't even oscillate, so pick your battles on this. It does seem to work. Now my model is several years old, so if yours has any significant differences or if they've changed anything on the latest models, be sure to let us all know down in the comments so we can know exactly what we're buying. The belt tracking on this I do find to be very responsive, so just give it a little adjustment up or down as needed. But there's a little trick to help that lock in, and what you want to do is say you're adjusting it to go up. Make your adjustment. When it starts to look good, turn it in the opposite direction, about 1/8 of a turn, and that always helps to lock it in right where you want it. There's a single knob on the right side of the tool, and then just detent, so you can drop that down where you need it, and I'll take it down to about 45 degrees and lock it back in. Love the fact that it has an angled table. And then with just a standard miter gauge, all of a sudden I can do nice chamfers on the end of my work pieces, or my absolute favorite on this tool is to create chamfered through tenons. That's something that's super useful for me with arts and crafts furniture. You've got to love those automatic eye-back gates, so handy. And then as far as power, I think it's about 1/5 of a horsepower, which you'd think would be totally underwhelming, but actually, I've had a hard time bogging the motor down on this, so I think it does have adequate power. So this one certainly isn't new. In fact, Ridgid was going with an open frame design for a while, and then it seemed like that kind of disappeared off the market. Maybe they've gone back to this closed-in version, but I've tried several of these different edge sanders. Lots of them can do the oscillating spindle sander function, some of them can do the belt sander function, and some even have that angling table, but most of them forget to use that miter slot, and that seems to be the key difference on this one. So is this one perfect? No, not by a long shot, but I think it is still a good value, and surprisingly it's one of the few edge sanders that are in this kind of benchtop category that have not only a tilting table but also that miter slot. And those things, as it turns out for me, are what's critical to be able to do those chamfer tenons for my arts and crafts furniture. So that's kind of why I really like this. Plus, I always leave the belt function on there. It just works great in the shop, smoothing out the edges of cabinet doors and all sorts of things. So I'll put a link down in the description box if you want to check it out yourself. But do take a second to give me a quick thumbs up or consider subscribing to the channel. I always appreciate it. See you on the next one.